The warning you ignored. If your cat does this, you need to pay attention. Most people see it every day and dismiss it as normal behavior, but it is not. There is something happening right in front of you, something subtle, quiet, almost invisible, and your cat has been trying to tell you for a long time without you realizing it. You notice the way he looks at you sometimes, that fixed stare that lingers just a little longer than it should. The way he walks toward you, slows down and then pauses, as if expecting a response you never give. Or those repeated behaviors that seem small, almost insignificant, but keep happening again and again, as if they carry a meaning you have not yet understood. What if none of this is random? What if every one of those moments is intentional? What if your cat has been speaking to you in a language you were never taught to hear? Researchers who study feline behavior have observed that cats do not act without purpose. Every movement is part of a communication system built on instinct, emotion, and survival. They conserve energy, they choose carefully when to act, and when they do, it matters. The uncomfortable truth is this: when you ignore these signals, your cat does not stop communicating. He adapts. He changes the way he tries to reach you. And sometimes those new signals become more intense, more confusing, even more urgent. Experts in animal behavior explain that what people call strange or unpredictable is often a response to being misunderstood. This is where most people fail without ever noticing. They assume their cat is distant, independent, or simply behaving in ways that make no sense, but your cat is not disconnected. He is reacting, he is expressing, he is trying to be understood in the only way he knows. And when those attempts are ignored, something begins to build beneath the surface. Tension, frustration, need, signals that grow stronger because the softer ones were never heard. Today, you are going to see what your cat has been trying to show you all along, and once you understand it, you will start noticing things you cannot ignore anymore. The invisible code of cats. Your cat is not random. That is the first truth you need to accept if you want to understand what is really happening. What looks like unpredictable behavior is, in reality, a precise system of communication that you were never taught to read. Most people grow up believing that cats are mysterious, distant, even indifferent. But researchers who have spent years observing feline behavior discovered something very different. Cats are constantly communicating. The difference is that they do it in silence, through posture, rhythm, repetition, and subtle changes that most humans overlook. When your cat rubs against you, pauses in a doorway, or suddenly changes his routine, he is not acting on impulse. Specialists in animal behavior explain that these actions are part of a structured language built on instinct and emotional response. Your cat is always reacting to something, always expressing something, even when it seems like nothing is happening. The problem is not that your cat is hard to understand. The problem is that you were never taught how to listen. You were taught to expect obvious signals, clear sounds, direct reactions. But cats operate in a different layer of communication, one that requires attention, presence, and awareness of small details. This is why so many signals go unnoticed. Because they are not loud, they are not dramatic, they are precise, quiet, and repeated. And when those signals are ignored, your cat does not stop. He adjusts. He changes intensity. He looks for another way to reach you. Experts explain that over time, this gap between what the cat expresses and what the human understands can create behavioral shifts. What starts as a soft signal can turn into something stronger, sometimes even disruptive, not because the cat changed, but because the message was never received. Your cat is not acting strange. He is speaking in a language you have not learned yet. And once you start seeing this invisible code, every small behavior begins to reveal something deeper. Now that you understand this, the next thing you are about to see will change how you interpret one of the most common behaviors cats show every day. Sign 1. Behavior that looks like affection. When your cat rubs against you, follows you from room to room, or gently presses his body against your legs, most people see it as simple affection. A sweet gesture. A sign that your cat likes you. And yes, part of that is true. But that is not the full story. Researchers who study feline behavior observe that this action is deeply rooted in instinct. Cats have scent glands in specific areas of their body, especially around the face and head. When they rub against you, they are not just seeking contact. They are marking you. They are blending their scent with yours, creating a shared identity that signals safety, familiarity, and territory. But here is where it becomes more complex. Specialists explain that this behavior can also carry an emotional layer. When your cat repeats this action more frequently, especially at specific moments, he may be seeking reassurance. He may be reinforcing a bond that, from his perspective, feels uncertain or needs strengthening. This is why the same behavior can mean different things depending on context. It can be trust, it can be ownership, it can be comfort, and sometimes it can be a quiet request for attention that is not being fully met. Most people respond automatically. A quick touch, a distracted reaction, and then they move on. But your cat notices that. Cats are highly sensitive to patterns and responses. Studies from animal behavior centers show that when a cat's attempt to connect is only partially acknowledged, he tends to repeat the behavior, trying again, slightly more insistently each time. So what you thought was just affection may actually be layered communication. A message that says, "This is mine, this is safe, this matters to me." And if you ignore the depth of it, your cat does not stop expressing it. He simply changes the way he tries. And this leads to something even more subtle, something many people completely overlook, especially when it appears suddenly without explanation. Sign 2, the habit that appears out of nowhere. There are moments when your cat suddenly changes. A different meow, a new habit, a behavior that was never there before, and now it repeats as if it has always existed. Most people ignore it or assume it is just one of those things cats do. But nothing in your cat's behavior appears without a reason. Researchers who observe feline routines explain that cats are extremely consistent by nature. They rely on patterns to feel safe. When something shifts, even slightly, their behavior shifts with it. So when your cat starts vocalizing differently, becoming more active at night, or altering his daily rhythm, he is responding to something in his environment or within himself. It might be something subtle that you did not notice. A change in your schedule, a new sound in the house, a shift in your mood or energy. Cats are highly perceptive. Studies from animal cognition research show that cats can detect emotional and environmental changes long before humans become aware of them. And when they do, they adjust. But here is the part most people miss. When your cat develops a new habit and repeats it, he is not just adapting. He is communicating that something has changed and that he is trying to process it. That repeated behavior becomes his way of reaching out, of saying something is different, something needs attention. If this new habit is ignored, it does not disappear. It becomes stronger. Specialists explain that repetition in cats is often a reinforcement loop. The more a behavior is not understood, the more the cat relies on it, trying to make the message clearer each time. So that sudden habit you noticed is not random. It is a signal, a response to something that matters in your cat's world. And the more you overlook it, the more persistent it becomes. Now imagine this. What happens when your cat stops trying to be obvious and instead chooses to watch you in complete silence? Sign 3, when he watches you in silence. There is a moment that most people feel but do not understand. You look up, and your cat is already looking at you, not moving, not making a sound, just watching. And for a second, it feels almost unsettling, as if there is something behind that stare that you cannot fully explain. Most people ignore it. They assume the cat is just there, resting, distracted, or curious. But researchers who study feline cognition explain that a cat's gaze is never empty. It is intentional. It is focused. And more importantly, it is a form of observation that carries meaning. Cats are natural observers. In the wild, their survival depends on reading movement, timing, and subtle changes in their environment. When your cat watches you, he is not just looking. He is analyzing patterns. He is learning your behavior. He is trying to predict what you will do next. But there is something deeper happening here. Specialists in animal behavior explain that when a cat consistently observes a human, especially in silence, it often reflects a strong bond combined with a need to understand. Your cat is studying you because, in his world, you are part of his environment, his routine, his sense of safety. And yet, there is a delicate balance in this behavior. A relaxed gaze, slow blinking, a soft presence, these are signs of trust. But a fixed, unbroken stare, especially when repeated in specific moments, can also signal uncertainty or a need for reassurance. Your cat is trying to read you because something is not fully clear to him. Studies from universities focused on animal-human interaction show that cats adjust their behavior based on how predictable their human is. When they cannot fully interpret you, they observe more. They stay still. They watch longer, not out of distance, but out of effort. This means that every time your cat watches you in silence, there is a question behind that gaze. A silent attempt to understand, to connect, to feel secure in what comes next. And if that silent question is never answered, your cat does not stop trying. He simply shifts again, sometimes in ways that are no longer quiet, no longer subtle, and much harder to ignore. Sign 4. Behavior that may be a warning. There is a point where your cat stops being subtle. The signals become sharper, more visible, sometimes even uncomfortable to deal with. This is where most people say something changed in their cat. But in reality, this is often the moment when the quiet messages were ignored for too long. You begin to notice sudden shifts. A cat that was calm becomes restless. A cat that stayed close starts isolating. Or the opposite happens. A cat that was independent becomes excessively attached, following you everywhere, refusing to stay alone. In some cases, there is irritability, unexpected aggression, or a complete loss of interest in things he once enjoyed. Specialists in feline behavior explain that these changes are rarely random. They are escalation signals. When softer forms of communication fail, cats intensify their behavior to make the message impossible to overlook. What you are seeing is not a new personality. It is a stronger expression of something that has been building over time. Researchers from animal behavior institutes observed that cats experiencing stress, discomfort, or unmet needs often shift into patterns that humans label as problematic. But from the cat's perspective, this is communication at its highest level. It is urgency. It is the body and mind trying to restore balance. This is why ignoring these signs is risky. Because by the time they appear, the message is no longer subtle. It is direct. Something is not right, and your cat is doing everything he can to make you see it. It could be environmental stress. It could be emotional imbalance. It could even be a physical issue that has not yet been noticed. Cats are known to mask discomfort, and when they finally express it through behavior, it means the threshold has been crossed. Experts often say that behavior is the last language of the body. When everything else fails, the body speaks louder, and your cat is no different. So when you see these changes, this is not the moment to dismiss them. This is the moment to pay closer attention than ever before. Because this may be the only way your cat knows how to tell you that something needs to be understood right now. And after this intensity, there is something that might surprise you. A gesture that looks simple, almost innocent, but carries one of the deepest meanings your cat can express. Sign 5. The gesture that proves he trusts you. There is a behavior that many people see and underestimate. A simple moment when your cat lies down near you, exposes his belly, slowly blinks, or chooses to sleep close to your body. It looks calm, ordinary, almost routine. But in the language of cats, this is one of the most powerful signals he can give. Researchers who study feline behavior explain that cats are naturally protective of their most vulnerable areas. In the wild, exposing the belly is a risk. It is a position that removes their ability to react quickly. So when your cat does this in your presence, he is not just relaxed, he is making a decision based on trust. This is not casual, this is deliberate vulnerability. Specialists in animal behavior observe that when a cat feels completely safe, his body shifts. Muscles relax, breathing slows, movements become softer. And the act of staying close to you in this state is a sign that he does not see you as a threat, but as part of his secure environment. The slow blink is another layer of this communication. Studies from universities focused on cat-human interaction found that slow blinking is often used by cats as a non-threatening signal, a way of saying there is no danger here. When your cat does this while looking at you, he is lowering his guard in a way that few animals do so openly. But here is what most people misunderstand. This is not an invitation for anything. It is not a request to touch, to grab, or to react impulsively. It is a moment of trust being offered, and how you respond to it shapes how your cat sees you moving forward. If that moment is respected, the bond deepens. If it is ignored or mishandled, the trust does not break instantly, but it becomes more cautious, more guarded. Experts explain that trust in cats is built through consistent, predictable responses, not through intensity, but through respect. Through understanding that sometimes the most important thing you can do is simply recognize what is being given to you. So when your cat shows you this side of himself, you are not just witnessing affection. You are being allowed into a space where he feels completely safe. And yet, even with signs this clear, most people still make one mistake that changes everything without persever. The mistake that almost every owner makes. There is a mistake that almost every cat owner makes. And the most dangerous part is that it feels completely normal. It does not look like an error. It looks like routine. It looks like familiarity. But it quietly breaks the bridge between what your cat is trying to say and what you actually understand. Most people see behaviors and label them quickly. He is being needy. He is just playful. He is acting weird. He is like this. These labels feel harmless, but they close the door to real observation. Instead of asking what this means, people decide what it is and move on. Researchers in animal behavior explain that when humans simplify complex behaviors into fixed ideas, they stop noticing change. And with cats, change is everything. A slight shift in timing, intensity, or repetition can completely alter the meaning of a behavior. But if you are not paying attention, you miss it. Another common mistake is responding without awareness. Your cat approaches, you react automatically. A quick touch, a distracted response, or sometimes no response at all. From your perspective, it is nothing. From your cat's perspective, it is information. Cats learn through patterns. They observe how you respond, and they adjust their behavior based on that. Studies from animal cognition centers show that cats build expectations from repeated interactions. If their attempts to communicate are ignored or inconsistently answered, they either intensify their signals or withdraw. Neither of these outcomes is random. Both are consequences of a broken communication loop. And then there is the most subtle mistake of all. Treating everything as a habit. Assuming that because your cat always did something, it will always mean the same thing. But behavior is not static. It evolves. It reflects the present moment, not just the past. This is why your cat can be trying to tell you something important, and you do not hear it. Not because the message is unclear, but because you stopped looking for meaning. Your cat has not stopped communicating. The question is whether you have stopped listening. And once you realize this, you begin to understand that there is a different way to respond. A way that changes everything from this moment forward. How to start understanding your cat today. Understanding your cat does not start with changing him. It starts with changing the way you observe. Most people look at behavior as isolated moments, something that happens and passes. But specialists in feline behavior explain that what matters is the pattern behind the moment, the repetition, the timing, the context. Start by slowing down your perception. When your cat does something, do not react immediately. Watch. Notice when it happens, how often it repeats, what was happening before it started. Researchers who study animal behavior emphasize that cats communicate through sequences, not isolated actions. What looks like a simple gesture is often part of something bigger. Pay attention to consistency. If your cat approaches you at specific times, chooses certain places, or repeats a behavior in similar situations, there is meaning there. Cats rely on structure. When they repeat something, it is because it works in their world. Your role is to understand what that pattern represents. Another shift is how you respond. Instead of automatic reactions, give deliberate responses. If your cat seeks contact, be present in that moment. If he observes you, acknowledge him. If he changes behavior, do not ignore it. Studies from animal cognition research show that cats adjust their communication based on the quality of human response. When they feel understood, their signals become clearer, not stronger. Respect is also part of this process. Not every gesture is an invitation. Not every moment requires action. Sometimes understanding your cat means allowing space, recognizing that his behavior is complete on its own, without interference. Experts often say that clarity in communication comes from alignment. When your observation matches your response, your cat begins to trust the interaction. He no longer needs to repeat, intensify, or change his signals to be noticed. This is where everything starts to shift. The same behaviors that once seemed confusing begin to make sense. The silence becomes readable. The patterns become visible. And once you reach this point, there is one final question you cannot avoid anymore. Are you going to continue ignoring this? Now you know. The signs were always there. The behaviors you thought were random, harmless, or meaningless were never empty. They were messages, repeated with precision, waiting for you to notice. The way your cat looks at you, follows you, changes his habits, stays close, or suddenly acts differently, none of this happens without a reason. Researchers and specialists have shown that cats communicate constantly, even in silence. The difference is not in what they do. It is in what you choose to see. From this moment forward, you cannot go back to the way you used to look at your cat, because now you understand that every action carries intention. Every pause, every repetition, every change is part of something deeper. And once you see it, ignoring it becomes a choice. The real question is simple. The next time your cat does one of these things, what will you do? Will you dismiss it the way you always have, or will you stop and pay attention to what is actually being said? Experts often explain that connection with animals is not built through control. It is built through awareness, through the ability to observe, interpret, and respond with clarity. And your cat has been giving you that opportunity every single day. Now it is in your hands. You can continue treating these moments as background noise, or you can start seeing them for what they truly are. A language, a bond, a form of communication that only works if you are willing to listen. If you have ever noticed any of these behaviors, pay attention from now on. Your cat may already be telling you something important.